Welcome, what is up? Thank you for tuning back into the Chaos Lair. Of course, I am Chris Chaos here with the 411 for Monday Night Raw, San Jose, California. California dreaming, baby. Good crowd tonight. I always notice the crowds. By the way, I want to say, Coach with a shot at Booker T. If you didn't hear it, you will hear about it. In the coming days, people will be talking about it. It was really funny, but it was still kind of messed up. First and foremost, before I get into the show, I just want to say big congratulations to Ivory, a.k.a. Lisa Moretti, for getting in to the WWE Hall of Fame. Now, Trish, Lita, Jacqueline, Ivory. There's one name left that needs to be in, that's not in, and that's Molly Holly. That's the one name. Now, as far as women's wrestlers go, now, people will say, well, what about China? Yes, China deserves to be in, and she will be in one day. I wholeheartedly believe that. I still think, if you do a Google search, look and see what comes up. They don't want that right now. They don't want that right now. Eventually, when Triple H finally completes his massive takeover of the WWE, which he's working on now, I mean, it's going to happen. I really think he's going to put her in. And I think Steph wants to put her in. But I also think that, women, little girls right now, if they go and search China, what they're going to see is not what WWE wants them to see. On to the show. Miz, Cena, good match. Really good match. False finishes were nice, although I don't like false finishes off of your finishers on Monday Night Raw in an opening match that doesn't have a huge meaning. Like, it's not a title match. It's just basically it's just another match, even though the loser goes on to be the first entrant in the Elimination Chamber. I still didn't like it. Like, they're trying to create the drama and the suspense of the match. I get it. It's too much. I wish that Miz, there were a couple of times where Cena was just laid out and his arms was wide open like this, and I wish, just as a psychology thing, that Miz would have grabbed his arms and really wrapped him up and really made Cena kick out. That's just little things that I noticed that probably a lot of people don't care to see, but things that I see that just to me makes a little bit better, because it makes the kick out even more better. Like, Cena really has to kick out, and as a babyface, that's what you want. You want the babyface to really have to fight and really have to struggle. And, when he finally gets the win like he did, I mean, it means so much more. Miz, we all know he's the workhorse. We all know WWE. Now, we know that he's not going to win the Elimination Chamber, but him going in first, the Miz is still hot right now. There's only a handful of guys that are really hot. Strowman, Miz, Finn is starting to catch a little bit of fire from being put back with the Good Brothers, if you will, the Biz Cliz. So we'll see what they end up doing with the Miz at WrestleMania, and we know it's not going to be for the Universal title anyway. But I can't wait to see what he does at the Chamber and how they work that. Gallows and Anderson losing to the Revival. I think it was a good spot. The Revival needed a good win on TV. They're still having to gain more momentum after just getting demolished by DX and the Club on the 25th anniversary show several weeks ago. Kurt coming out announcing Ronda is going to be at the Elimination Chamber, which, I get it, but now that you have the pay-per-views on the network, you can drive that for network buys, but I would rather see this on Raw. Just because I think that leading into WrestleMania, you need a several big moments on Raw to really drive home WrestleMania, and I think that this would have been a really good one. And I think, I know she'll be on Raw, has to be, before WrestleMania. I don't want to see her in any kind of title match or anything, but not to start out. Not just, that's way too much. Rumblings, and I said this a couple of years ago, The Rock and Ronda versus Triple H and Stephanie. I don't think that's going to happen because of the handshake at the Royal Rumble, but anyway. Kurt Angle also announces that Jason Jordan had a neck injury, he had surgery. This has been well documented, we already knew about this. He just, for storyline purposes. Seth comes out. I want to be the guy. I want to be the man again. So, put me in the match tonight. He gets in the match. We'll see how that works out later. Sasha and Bayley had a great match. Now, it falls way short in comparison to their Brooklyn match, or even either of their TakeOver matches, but it was still a really good match. And Bayley needed it for two reasons. One, because it's in her hometown, and she needed, after last year, when she lost the title in her hometown, she needed to rebound. She needed to have a good win in her hometown. And two, she just needed a good win going into the Chamber. Because Bayley hasn't had any really good wins, any really good singles wins lately, and so, not that I can recall off the top of my head, and so that was really nice. Again, another good win, Absolution, with Mandy Rose pinning Mickie James. That was also a very good win, leading into, because let's face it, Mandy and Sonya, we're having to build them up. They're new. We've got to bring them up to our level so that eventually, when they do win the title, that it's not just nobody believes it. It's just unbelievable that you could have one of these girls be the champion. They have to be believable in the spot, so they have to have wins like this. And I love the dichotomy between the chemistry and stuff between Alexa and Mickie James. That's just, it's always been there. Elias and Braun, look, that whole segment was just hilarious. It was just absolutely great. Sheamus and Roman Reigns, I just kind of skipped through that. I've seen this match enough to know how it was going to play out, and you just knew that Roman was going to win. And then you got the last chance Fatal 5-Way. Finn and Seth win the match. What does that mean? Well, it means that next week we're going to have a one-on-one match between Finn and Seth, and the winner goes on to the Elimination Chamber. That's exactly what that means. I think that's pretty freaking obvious for everybody to see. Now, I could have made a hell of a argument for 4 out of the 5 guys in that match tonight. 4, Matt Hardy being the 5th. And only because, they're not pushing the woken Matt Hardy like they should be. It's kind of a joke. Compared to what he was, it's really kind of a joke. Now, I did see the thing where the WWE, come to some kind of agreement with Impact or TNA or whatever they're called now, that they're going to use some of that footage from TNA. Now, it's going to be certain footage. What's going to happen here, I think, Matt's going to go into the lake of reincarnation. He's going to go in woken, and he's going to come out the actual broken Matt Hardy, and they're going to push him. And they're going to push him into something, and maybe he wins the Intercontinental title or something at WrestleMania. Who knows? They'll do something with it. If they're smart. And if they care. If they don't care, then we'll just continue to get what we get now, and that's not just a whole lot of nothing. Of course, Apollo Crews, I could have made a case for him just because we need new blood, and that's, somebody that the WWE has not ever used him properly. That guy needs a title. He deserves a spot. Bray, of course, former WWE champion. It was a joke of a title reign last year. They could do so much better with Bray Wyatt, and that they just won't. And then Finn never losing the Universal title, and it just is what it is. Never really getting another shot, or never getting another shot, period, up for it. Just boggles my mind still. And then Seth, after they had him do that big promo earlier in the night, it just made all the sense in the world that he would have been the winner of the match. Now, I didn't see the double win. Didn't see that coming. That's a good swerve. I like being swerved. I like being able to say, well, I think it's going to go this way, and it not go that way. I actually like that, because I don't like it to be too predictable. But where they're going next week is a one-on-one match, and Seth probably wins and gets into the chamber. Let's just be honest. It's just a formality at this point, but we'll see how it goes. Now, that's all I have for you tonight. Make sure to tune back in tomorrow night, where I will cover SmackDown Live and the Mixed Match Challenge. Till then, deuces. Cats out.